This is not normal.
After 2 shootings at East High School in less than 2 months, anger is obvious.
This is traumatic. They shouldn't have to do this.
Parents confront the mayor and police chief
You guys don't get it?
as they wait outside the crime scene to see if their kids are okay yet again.
It's scary. You know, it's like this is a second shooting this year. It's just scary.
Tiffany Wright knows the frustration.
There's nothing you can do. You're nervous, you're anxious, you just want to see your kids' faces and make sure they're okay.
At the same intersection where an East High School student was shot and killed last month.
Hey, this is too much like not right.
Parents like Lawrence Gauchon
You gotta be here.
wait to reunite with their kids.
Isaiah,
Yeah,
what floor are you on?
3rd floor.
Okay.
He won't hand up the call with his son until he sees him come out of the school.
Say right now, I'm scared. I'm tired of my son going through this. Like it's his freshman year. He's never been exposed to this much violence ever in his life.
Oh, it's just again and again, it just never seems to stop, and there's no solution.
2 administrators shot by a student with a gun.
He just said, I was scared, I'm scared, and there's a lockdown again.
Again.
All these kids want to do is learn.
Again.
That's it. This is it, man.
There are few answers that calm the frustration.
These are our kids. I don't want to come and get my kid and have her take her to the funeral on a casket. I don't want that. What are you guys going to do?
Outside East High School,
There they are.
Tiffany finds relief again.
Hello.
Hi, babies. Hey, I'm so glad y'all safe.
Go Trotters! Happy Thanksgiving!
Starting out with a little run is a great way to stay on track for Turkey Day.
You're doing it. Let's go.
At Denver's 50th annual Thanksgiving Day race,
Good job. Keep it up.
Erica Anderson and her crew are keeping racers going
Yeah, they'll come though, for sure.
while keeping the long game in mind.
Yeah, we got the turkey roasting inside. We got the football game will be on soon, and just family, and obviously trotting a little bit more after we eat.
But before the big meal, runners need a little fuel to get over the finish line.
Fireball!
I'm a fireball.
Woo!
Some turkey trotters know how to pace themselves.
You guys feel? No, don't look! Don't look! Don't look!
Other runners are just making room for dinner.
Not our fault. Not our fault.
For Erica and her friends, today isn't about winners and losers. It's about being together.
Oh my gosh! Just seeing the energy, cheering people on, seeing the community. It's lots of tradition. It's awesome to witness.
In Denver, Mike Grady, 9 News.
Yeah, let's trot it out. Good job.
And our Marshall Zellinger got a look at some technology created in Broomfield that can not only track the drone, but find the person flying it.
Kyle, think of the last flight you took. You're able to go online and figure out where that plane is at any moment, where it was, how long it's going to take. Kind of like that plane flying Taylor Swift. But that same type of newsworthy reporting is not available to track drones currently. Right now, the only way to figure out where a drone is to listen for that buzz, look around for it, and maybe be able to find the person controlling it. If you don't have tickets to the Taylor Swift concert, you're not going by the stadium, but Dave Burt is. He's taking his equipment down there tonight to test his equipment and see if he can detect drones, rogue drones, when there's tens of thousands of cell phones and radio interference in the same spot. He tells me, besides wildfire assistance and Flight for Life flight assistance, this could be used by local law enforcement and jails for drones illegally dropping things that shouldn't be dropped into the jail perimeter. This would be able to detect who did it. You'd have evidence of like who the drone operator is, and then you could contact the FAA for identification of who was operating it at that time.
Marshall, it's right behind you.
I hear it.
It's right there.
And
it's
I can
right
see
there.
the person operating
And
it.
you can see the operator, yeah. Bad news for anybody who wants to drop a stash into a prison yard by drone, which I just think is absolutely fascinating. Marshall Zellinger, thank you so much, sir.
The sounds of tradition echo every day at Fort Logan National Cemetery. The final toll of military life feels familiar.
The tradition and the history that's contained in a national cemetery.
You know, we're all here for you.
Oh my gosh.
But the path here was surreal for Danielle McCarthy.
No, There is nothing traditional about this story other than guy meets girl, girl and guy fall in love, and embark on a journey.
She lost her husband David 6 years ago. Then she worried his body was gone forever.
The funeral home I used to cremate my husband did not. They dismembered and sold his body parts without me knowing, without my family. This impacted 800 other families. The 2 individuals who did this are finally serving time that they deserve.
The FBI couldn't track hundreds of the stolen bodies, but they found David.
And I don't know what made us special to get him back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please follow me inside.
The other families can't keep the promise Danielle fulfills today.
We're assembled here today to pay lasting tribute of respect to our departed comrade.
She's finally saying goodbye.
Let us pray for our comrade David McCarthy Jr.
Finally, able to follow the tradition her husband wanted.
Honor guard. He's in arms.
We have the President of the United States Army, and a grateful nation. Please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your honorable and faithful service.
Order arms. Forward march.
I think for him it's peace now. He can truly rest.
You got this.
At last, surrounded by family and friends, Danielle's promise to David is kept.
I love you so much.
You know, usually we see everything as that's moving, but when you capture a still photograph, you're just grasping that one moment in time. My name's Hans Watson. I've been shooting the stock show for, this will be my 11th year. The stock show kickoff parade. This is usually the hot spot for people with cameras.
Yeah.
It's not often that you see Longhorns coming down through downtown among the skyscrapers and all that in downtown Denver. A little bit of a story. Back in 2005, I had a stroke. That left me completely blind at the time. My vision started coming back to me, and part of my rehab for it was they advised me to take up photography so that I could start paying more attention to what I'm seeing and that sort of thing. My vision's still not completely all the way back. My left eye doesn't work right. I'm legally blind, but it doesn't stop me. I'm still out there taking the photos, and I still think I get some decent ones out there. So. I wish I could explain it. I don't know. It just happens to work out well for me. I think it's because I'm paying extra attention to everything and trying to appreciate what all is going on around me. I can't explain it, but I must be doing something right, because we are just grasping a second of time in there. That's one of the beauties of still photography.
Two people are dead in Loveland after a man shot them and then took off to Erie.
They said they were looking for a guy named Javier Acevedo, 49 years old.
660 Crimson Way, if you guys can get in there quick, he's getting close.
That is Javier Acevedo. We've already told you what he did last summer, and now we're learning more about what didn't happen before the shooting. And that story starts with a phone call.
My mother called me on the phone. I was at the scene within 20 minutes.
Garen Dom got a call that something happened at his sister Lindsay's house, and it's something that he always knew could eventually come one day. In July of last year, Javier Acevedo went to his ex-girlfriend's house, Lindsay's house, and shot and killed her and her 16-year-old daughter, Meadow Center.
That's your suspect. Still holding the rifle, still holding the magazine.
The footage we got from the Loveland Police Department really shows just how chaotic that day was.
If you do not comply with command, force me to use
against you!
Police are scrambling, and they eventually find Javier Acevedo in Erie, and he is holding the gun that he used to kill Lindsay Ameto that day. He ends up killing himself too.
It's like your entire life starts over on this day, you know, it changes everything.
We know that he purchased the gun he used to kill Lindsay Ameto a few months before a court required him to give up his guns.
They could have gotten that gun, you know. He should have had to physically relinquish that gun.
Acevedo's ex-wife asked a Denver County court to grant her a criminal protection order, and that's what they did, and as a part of that, they required Acevedo to give up any guns he had at the time. On the firearm relinquishment form, you can see that Javier Acevedo checked a box saying he did not possess a gun at the time. We know that he purchased the gun a few months before he signed a piece of paper saying he had to relinquish any firearms he had.
You just take his word for it? No, absolutely not. You couldn't take this person's word for anything. The guy was a compulsive liar. What do you think he intended when he bought that shotgun? That's what I think about more than anything now.
This case was handled by the Denver City Attorney's Office, and that office said they don't have a role in verifying the truthfulness of what's said on a firearm relinquishment form. Basically, they just don't check.
But unless someone is to say that you are lying on that form or committing perjury, there is no way to really enforce that.
Katie Wolf is the public policy director for Violence Free Colorado, and she really gets this stuff because she works with lawmakers in our state on bills related to domestic violence.
Denver sees about more than 2,500 domestic violence cases at the municipal level every year. And so it'd be really hard and a lot of resources for them to be able to investigate every single relinquishment form.
Garen was really upset that no one checked, and he thinks that that should change.
They're just like, oh, here, sign here. Oh, you're already in enough trouble. Here, just check this little box to say you don't have any guns. How easy would it have been to find out that he had purchased that firearm?
Katie knows that we can't create a database like that because our state constitution makes it illegal.
It would be a lot easier if there were a way to just check to see if people had guns, if there was a database where people's names were listed. The Colorado Constitution prohibits that from happening.
Lindsay went to a Larimer County court twice asking for a protection order against Acevedo, and both times the judge denied her request, saying there just wasn't enough evidence. In one of those requests, she said Acevedo threatened to kill her. When she was denied the protection order the second time, it was just a month before Acevedo killed her.
Feeling even remotely like that was enough is the biggest thing for me. I feel so, I mean, that's just the guilt that I deal with like every single day.
Garen was incredibly upset. He felt like he put too much trust and faith in a system that was supposed to protect his sister.
You always are gonna feel like there's so much more you could have done, but I mean, I feel like a total sucker.
He had a lot of hesitancies talking about his sister's case, but because there were so many warning signs, he felt it was important to talk about really the worst day of his life.
It's hard for me to, you know, look back and think about things like, well, like Meadow, for example, you know, and look at that picture and go, oh, it's hard for me to remember. Oh yeah, remember she was such a happy kid, you know, and things like that. That stuff is really hard to even fathom now.
On the day that Lizzie Daum and Meadow Center were killed, the 16-year-old had just finished her internship with the Colorado Youth Congress.
People need to hear this, and people need to know, yeah, this is the state you live in.
2 times, a woman in Loveland asked a judge to make her ex-boyfriend give up his guns and stay away from her home.
What's up, man? How y'all doing? What's going on? Not much. Hey, I just want to talk to you about the tents here on the sidewalk.
Problems need solutions.
I think every city across America has a problem with folks that are unhoused. I've talked to you before. You look familiar.
On the streets of Denver, enforcing the law starts with conversation.
Yeah.
Tim Marquez and Armand Brown are part of the city's street enforcement team, tasked with enforcing the urban camping ban. Today, that starts at Park Avenue in Larimer, getting people help.
I went with the Department of Safety and I was worried about you just now.
The notice to pack up the tents blocking the sidewalk comes with referrals to resources.
And they help out with state IDs, housing, Medicaid.
And new clothes.
I got brand new. These are donated Bomba socks.
The stops are short.
Cool. We good? We're out.
Before it's on to the next complaint.
Good seeing you again. How you doing in there? Can I talk to you right now? What's going on with you? You doing all right? So unfortunately, we have a problem because the complaints came in about blocking the sidewalk.
Tim and Armand know outside a gas station cannot be home.
The trash and stuff blocking the sidewalk.
They don't sweep the camps or throw away belongings.
Okay.
Instead, they call for a social worker.
You're gonna see a lady in a wheelchair. She needs help getting relocated.
We want them to understand that there's always a way out, right? So if there's a way out, that's when we come and we provide those type of resources for them.
The team of 11 people has the power to write tickets to people violating certain laws. But in their 2 years on the streets and thousands of interactions,
that was a great visit.
They haven't issued a single citation. Instead, they use their words because Armand and Tim say fines won't solve the problem.
Help folks. Help folks.
Once you build that bond and relationship, build that trust, then I feel like you can get more compliance.
From gas stations to street corners to alleyways, they know telling people to move
how y'all doing?
Won't help them change.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, brother? You going through it? You ready to make that move, get some help? You know, all I gotta do is make a call.
It's hard, bro.
I know it's hard, brother, but
don't think about it, man.
You need to get well first and foremost. And I know right now you're like, I'm not ready to go make that move.
Problems are everywhere. But these guys hope they're part of the solution.
Nice.
In this shop, people simply learn how to work on bikes.
Yeah. Whew.
For Julia Friend,
no.
This is new.
Yeah, I have never done this before, but I've used an Allen wrench before. So we're halfway there.
As someone who uses they, them pronouns,
what angle do you recommend?
Julia knows they are not the typical bike mechanic.
A white dude with like a beard, like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Wheel building is like a whole art in and of itself.
Molly DeLandshire,
all of these knobs adjust just the stand.
knows she's not the typical instructor.
You very rarely see women or non-cis men identifying folks in bike shops. I rarely did.
But in the Bikes Together shop,
righty is no longer tighty and lefty is no longer loosey.
On the last Thursday of every month,
I'm ready for whatever we need to do.
Let's do the breaks.
Yeah.
Their differences,
Alex.
become similarities.
I love continuing to work with other people that have shared identities with me.
Gender Equality Mechanics, or GEM, is a night to work on bikes for women and gender nonconforming folks.
Whoa there, guy.
Alex Black,
just let go. It's gonna be okay.
Just started identifying as non-binary.
Never once have I felt like more welcome to be myself than at this point in my life, and I'm 27, you know?
He learns from Alex Hernandez,
Help you navigate this,
who came to this class herself before she became an instructor.
It's more inclusive than any other bike shop that I've ever been to. I think that's the major thing for me.
Anyone can feel like agency to have a bike and maintain it without, without all of the pressures of society to be a certain way or look a certain way or have a certain kind of knowledge. Like, bikes are very, very much for everyone.
Got it?
I don't know.
That's tight.
Oh, yeah, see? So no, the answer is no.
No, it's all good.
There is acceptance in mistakes.
So, this is very exciting.
And people are accepted as themselves.
I see a lot of people who look like me, which is cool.
All right, so remember we need to close the brakes and then adjust them.
It's simple, really. A bike night where the focus stays on the bikes.
So you're good.
Dude.
Way to go.
Nicely
done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are attending the Peach Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, they called it the Peach Bowl. I don't know if you'd call it a tournament or just a nice celebration. What are the Colorado Peaches?
What are they? A women's senior softball team.
They're an institution.
We're
a
mixture of age and ability. It began in 1992 with Chloe. You know everybody on that picture? Nancy joined the Peaches in 1993, and she pitched and pitched and pitched until the two of us retired.
The Peaches would have died if it hadn't been for Maggie.
And there's Maggie. We have to give credit to Maggie for that. For carrying on the Peaches after we retired.
She's on.
There's a hit and a half. They don't induct teams into the Hall of Fame, so I am honored to represent the Colorado Peaches. The Huntsman World Senior Games.
The Huntsman's Hall of Fame, and it's well deserved.
To represent all the women on whose shoulders I'm standing, really. Yeah, on the back of our shirts it says, Peach, what does it say on the back of our shirts? Peaches forever. Oh, do we mean it? It's just so much fun.
Atta girl! Way to go! Yes, it's just fun.
Yay!
Way to go.
Friday nights are for getting together.
It's dancing time.
Darn thirsty cowboys be playing.
It's the hot spot in beautiful downtown Drake, Colorado.
Just like the sun.
Jerry Schaefer, Darn Thirsty Cowboys, been around forever.
The sound of the guitar can't drown out conversations of what happened here a decade ago.
The 2013 flood, it just rained for days and kept coming, eating away.
Everything on this mountain you think of in terms of before the flood and after the flood. I mean, it's such a historic event.
Memories linger in this bar.
This is me when I was 23. Do I look like a hippie or something there?
Yes.
When Jerry Schaefer stops being a singer, he starts being a grandpa.
It was pretty traumatic. It was the water was clear up way above the river on top of the road, wasn't it? Yeah.
5 generations of his family have called the Bid Thompson Canyon home.
This is Drake, who is named after the town of Drake because we've been here so long.
Life up here is at the mercy of the river. The grandkids still learn about the floods of 76 and 13. Jerry lived through them both.
It's just like a war zone is all you can think of. The houses were there were houses on top of each other. There were just mangled cars. The water's such a tremendous force that you can't stop it. And after the 2013 flood, we were standing out in the back looking at that.
The floodwaters caused $4 billion in damage 10 years ago.
It took me right back to 76 when I was actually washed downstream. That just churning and that water just tumbling around in it. That's the flood in 76.
Survive, rebuild, prepare. A cycle around here.
So you guys know what to do if we have another flood, right? We got it planned to go to high water, get in the cross river, back. Yeah.
The same routine is familiar.
Can I join you?
A few miles up the road.
Well, our dog was kind of chilling over there. She didn't even want to come when I called her.
Jim and Pat Morton enjoy the calm.
That Colorado blue sky.
Just like Jerry, they've lived through days that are far different.
What the flood 10 years ago in 2013 and spent 5 days here and left in a helicopter. And
we reference it because it changed things and did damage that some people are still having to deal with.
A decade after the flood made headlines,
we're dealing with this.
The river hasn't slowed down.
Last night's flash flood washed the culverts out. Well, this is one of the 2 5-foot culverts that we had.
It would have been easy to leave this place.
Try and get at least a little bit of it out of the way here.
After everything Jim and Pat experienced.
My dad actually drowned in the 76 flood, but that didn't sour us from our love of this area. He absolutely loved this place, and we share that.
A love for the canyon that keeps this family here.
Oh, Dad'd be thrilled.
He would. It's almost hard to talk about it without getting emotional, but he would.
Yeah.
He would love it.
In this part of Colorado, stories are born from the river.
It definitely brings people a lot closer together and brings the goodness out in it.
The bends and curves and power change. Yet the people who live here will always stay together.
You know, those of us that live up here, we love this place.
It's home, and you just have to be prepared.
It's very special.
Exactly. Yeah.
You kind of have to be a different breed to want to stay here, you know.
In Drake, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
This is kind of like a funeral to me for these people.
Saying goodbye is sacred.
You know, it's a very solemn event,
What brings this group together is not.
so it's good to let them go. Oh, I feel I can get a hold of it.
Even just hours before,
You know, it's heavier.
Judy Kressler still held
Let
on.
me just figure, oh, you just lift it.
The funeral home that gave Judy these ashes told her they were her father.
This is the cremains, the mixed cremains of different people. We don't know who they are. They're not my father.
Her father, Harold Kressler. The FBI told her the funeral home, Sunset Mesa, sold his body.
And that just shows my dad. He was always happy and laughing, and he was jovial.
Just like they sold hundreds of others as part of the lucrative trade of human remains.
What the FBI told me was that his body was sold to Global Anatomy Project in Saudi Arabia as a whole body.
The funeral home owners are now in prison, leaving victims' bags filled with a haphazard mix of unidentified remains.
Because it goes against nature. It goes against what's right.
Judy wants to bring these ashes the dignity her dad never got.
We're going to Delta, Colorado to scatter the ashes of these mystery people that we all have, that we don't know who they are. It's the right thing to do. It's a respectful thing to do.
She's not alone.
Unbelievable.
Other victims of the Sunset Mesa funeral home have the wrong remains too.
It's still surreal.
The ones Debbie Schultz brought
It's still surreal.
are still sealed in evidence bags.
I must be making this up. This is so ridiculous. But here are the rest of you. We were going to have a disco party once they were arrested.
Dark humor gives pockets of light to this horror.
This really happened. Because doesn't it seem like that sometimes? Like
you wake up in the morning like, did that really happen?
I must be exaggerating this or something. This can't be.
These are the only people who get it. The only people who understand the unimaginable.
My dad was turned into a plastic display, basically.
Oh, yeah.
They're not just ashes, they're people. Real people that had lives and hopes and dreams and memories and love and were loved, and I just think they deserve better than what they got.
The evil won't go away. But today, respect still has a chance.
They deserve peace too, and I think that the river is about the most peaceful place that I can think of.
Debbie and Judy won't ever get to say goodbye to their loved ones the way they wanted.
Why Harold, not Harold?
Yeah, not Harold.
But together, they honor people they'll never know.
The people that are in these ashes, I hope some measure of peace is finally coming for them.
I just feel like I did right by these people. They don't belong in that box. They belong here with nature, and that's where they are forever.